明日はこちらをご用意してお待ちしてますね。
Princess Connect Redive will come to an end on April 30th, 2023. It was pretty funny how Crunchyroll mixed up their April Fool's joke with Pekarine's birthday message. The news has sent the global community spiraling through the stages of grief, including yours truly. But before we raise our pitchforks in anger, I want to take some time to properly process everything that's occurred.
Money, 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 I go.
With the Japanese version of the game still being a money printing machine, a very well received season 2 of the anime only a year ago, and more doujinshi than you can count. Princess Connect is one of the most well-respected gacha IPs out there. It doesn't seem possible that the global version is doing that badly. Looking at the past 4 months of revenue, we see a slightly different story. From 400k in December 2022 to a measly 100k in March 2023, this March revenue doesn't include iOS revenue due to the app already being taken down from tracking, but it likely would have only been 40% of Android revenue as usual. But looking at the revenue chart over time, Priconne has gone through dips like this before. This is still the lowest dip we've ever had, but it's not drastically out of the ordinary, and it would seem strange to drop the IP and its 300k active players after just one really bad month. There's a rumor floating around the Princess Connect subreddit that the real reason Crunchyroll had to shut it down is that Cygames, the owner of Princess Connect, saw that they were doing some weird stuff with their Street Fighter gacha and said, we don't want to be involved with you anymore. This is a pretty interesting theory, but he doesn't provide a single source, and it kind of sounds like he made it the fuck up. So unless more information arises, and let's be honest, Crunchyroll's not going to tell us anything, I'm just going to assume the reason Priconne shut down is because it wasn't making enough money. It's a decision that honestly fucking baffles me. In gacha games, the monthly revenue is closely correlated to which characters are in banner. March and April were always going to be weak months. All 4 new characters here can be obtained in the future for free just by grinding their hard stages. Uedo, Ninan, and Kuka already had their hard stages released, leaving Halloween Kyoko's rerun as the only limited banner. Basically, the banners were kind of shit. I don't think you could pick a worse time financially speaking to shut the game down. Crunchyroll basically pulled the plug on the game right before a number of extremely highly anticipated banners like all of the summer units and La Barista. La Barista specifically would have been a guaranteed knockout banner, probably as much as Summer Sarin back in June 2022, which is that spike we see right here in the graph. Priconne was still able to have 400 and 300k revenue in January and February this year, and the summer banner should have met if not exceeded that. Please take all my money, I don't want it anymore. End of servicing a game should be the absolute last resort. And to say that this feels abrupt would be an understatement. But maybe this is just how Crunchyroll operates. Historically, Crunchyroll seems to end of service their games in an almost flippant manner, with Priconne being the 7th game they've vaulted. They even recently updated this page to no longer show which games have been vaulted, likely due to the negative backlash that end of servicing Priconne has led to, but you can still see ads for the Priconne Instagram at the very bottom. So how badly did Crunchyroll fumble these 6 other games? After looking into it a bit, I think only one game was vaulted as poorly as Priconne. Naruto X Boruto is no longer being updated, but if you already have the game, at least you can still play it. Attack on Titan Tactics is also dead in Japan, so nothing Crunchy can do there. Danmachi Memoria Freeze had some drama about censorship, but was also handed off to another publisher, which is nice. And Grand Summoners was also handed off. That just leaves Mask for the Dead as dead and global, but still alive in Japan. And finally, there's Mitrosphere, which feels like the closest analog to Princess Connect. The original Japanese version started back in 2017, while Crunchyroll's version ended at the 1 year, 8 month mark. Crunchyroll's probably not as evil as we want to make them out to be, but it definitely feels like they're casting a wide net full of holes. The thing that bothered me the most was how little it feels like Crunchyroll tried to actually stop this from happening. Instead, it feels like they just let the game die without doing anything. My job here is done, but you didn't do anything. Are you sure about that? As a matter of fact, The only thing Crunchyroll has been able to do is throw gems at us.
Whoa! This is worthless.
And yes, getting currency on an account that's going to be deleted in a month is pretty useless, but the people who decided to send these gems are probably not the ones who decided to shut down the game. A theory like poor communication of upper management that was out of touch with the community and macroeconomic bullshit caused the abrupt decision to end Princess Connect would be a completely fair one, but it also wouldn't say anything specific about mismanagement of the IP. And there is one thing I think Crunchyroll absolutely should have tried before shelving the IP forever. When a game is localized from Japanese into English, the publisher can choose to either follow the original content schedule or to design some kind of accelerated schedule so the game can eventually catch up to the Japanese server. Due to Crunchyroll choosing to follow the original schedule, global players could see 3 years into the future and use that to determine who to roll for. This greatly damaged the value of banners like Christmas Ilya and Christmas Christina, who would both be extremely strong for a few months but then be quickly superseded. It also killed a lot of the hype and excitement you normally see when a gacha releases a new character.
Because she changes everything.
She did not change everything, but I do think it's important to have at least a little bit of hype. And it's pretty much impossible to generate hype when you're 3 years behind, so we would have needed to accelerate. Unfortunately, no such action was taken. All we have left is our hopium and copium. Look at these people, hopiuming for data transfers to JP. Wait, that's me. Fuck, I'd love to believe in things like another publisher picking up the game, but I feel like if that was the case, Crunchyroll would have told us by now. Even if that did happen, it's unlikely we'd get our data back. Princess Connect Global is dead. Over the past 2.5 years, I've put in over 1,000 hours, maybe even 2,000 hours into my account. But even more important than that, Princess Connect was a happy, cheerful place I could always run away to. I'll never forget the feelings of warmth and happiness and pride that I felt as I watched that first perfect episode of season 2. It's still one of my favorite episodes of anime of all time. I'll never forget the childish excitement I felt when I finally got to roll for Muimui, or that insane feeling of pride and accomplishment as my clan finally broke top 300. I'm pretty proud of just how far we've come as a clan, and how kind of dedicated everybody is to the same cause. I think that's really the kind of good feeling. It's not something I get a lot, I guess, in other places or at all. And the fact that it's all going to go away without a trace, like nothing ever happened.
I don't want to go. I don't want to go. Sir, please.
It's not a reality I can easily accept, but I don't really have a choice in the matter. I don't regret any of the time, effort, and money I've spent. And after a week of processing, I'll probably never play another Crunchyroll game, but I'm also not really mad at them anymore. I just wish they could have done a better job.